If you're having clients that are going to be missing a lot of sessions due to families in town and Thanksgiving and everything around that, so it keeps people thinking about the gym and being healthy and not gaining weight and engaged versus just floating off into the wind.
Matt, what's up?
What's happening, man?
Back in the Beats lab.
The
laying
Beats
down
lab.
some beats.
That's right.
Getting in the Beats lab.
I'm talking to Chamberlain. It's freezing in here.
I know you're wearing if you're not watching this, Matt's wearing a puffy jacket indoors. So
It's freezing in Georgia. It's 47 this morning.
yeah, it's ridiculous. I almost didn't come to work. So I didn't think I was going to make it. Good thing I got 4-wheel drive.
Can't wait till the time changes.
Anywho, do you have a did you know, Matt?
Of course I have a did you know. Hopefully it's not repeated for somebody else. It's really fascinating.
Oh yeah, let's hear it. Let's hear it, Matt.
Did you know that bees can sting other bees?
No shit.
Yeah, so they attack them. They'll sting each other.
No kidding.
Who knew?
That's wild.
That may not change your life, but you can hold on to that one.
Did you know, okay, I'm going to add to yours because I love random information. And this isn't my did you know, but did you know that like if a hornet attacks a beehive, the bees will swarm the hornet and flap their wings so fast that it creates enough heat that it melts the hornet.
Oh, yours is way better than mine.
Isn't that crazy, though?
That's not your did you know?
No.
That's just something you just sat on?
That's a one-up to your did you know.
See how hard it is to work with him?
I know. I get excited. What can I say? But isn't that cool, though? Imagine like a hornet's attacking their nest and they just like get all over it and some of them are dying because he's stinging them too and they flap their wings and create all this heat and just
like
melt his ass.
2:30 in the morning Animal Planet watch or something?
No, it's just weird things stick in my brain. You know, it's like, I don't know what the business analogy is there, but like swarm on people, melt them all.
Yeah, melt them
to the ground.
What's your real did you know?
Oh, my real did you know is, did you know that in a beauty contest for camels, which apparently they have in Saudi Arabia, 5 different camels were disqualified for getting Botox? How about that?
So trying to puff up their lips?
No, that's filler.
Sorry.
Jeez, man. Come on.
Come on. That's filler.
That's filler.
So they're trying to
you don't put Botox in your lips.
Starting to decrease the wrinkles in their head?
Yeah, I'm sure. Like whatever Botox does for people, like you don't want camel wrinkles. So it's a beauty contest for camels. And so they were giving the camels
camel wrinkles.
Okay. Dude, you just don't lob it up there like that because you know I can't not hit
You started it.
All right. But no, like seriously, like, yeah, you don't want the.
You sure you can't put Botox in your lips? What does it do to them?
It just wouldn't work. All right, look, dudes, like we're in a weird mood today. Apologies for those listening that are barely keeping up, but we do have an actual subject today, which is we are going to discuss the internal promotions that we run throughout the year at Alloy. And I think first we'll talk about the whys. I think it's important for engagement, which obviously drives retention. It's fun. It gives the client something to look forward to. Any other benefits that you can think of that aren't that obvious with the internal promos?
No, it's all those things, right? I mean, we have them in place for what you said because, when you have clients, especially first clients, as long as we typically keep them, we're looking 1, 2, 3 years, 30 years, you have to have something to keep them actively engaged on that never-ending fitness journey.
Yep. So, and we have a lot of mechanisms in place. Client events go on the marketing calendar, all the things, once a quarter, you're taking your clients bowling or, out for food or whatever that may be. But the internal promos are really important. And some we've been doing, you guys, for up to 15, maybe 20 years, and people look forward to them every year. So I think, again, referencing that entrepreneurs can get bored if not changing everything all the time. Keep in mind, it's not the clients that are bored, it's you that's bored. So like do what's best for the clients. And that's part of the emotional regulation that we've talked about a million times on the podcast. Would you agree?
Yeah, no matter what it is, from exercise to your marketing.
We could do a whole podcast on why programming doesn't need to be so complicated and that the only reason it is because trainers get bored. And literally I've seen this from whether it be Ellen, who created Orange Theory originally, and you think about their workouts the same every time, or like you sent me a clip from our buddy Mike Boyle, who I speak with, and it was basically like the clients aren't bored, you're bored. And really that's what we see. When we used to license, we would talk about we've got two audiences. We've got the gym owner and the coaches, and we created more variety for them than we did for the clients, because the clients just don't care.
Yeah, shit was wild.
It's nuts. It's like, hey, we might hear from a coach who's like, hey, we did kettlebell swings last month. I'm like, it's a good exercise. And I bet you that same coach or trainer would do the same exercise for themselves every time they worked out. They're probably trying to progressively overload a deadlift or whatever other movement. It's like, well, then why can't we do a swing and twice in the same month? It's crazy, right? Yeah. So anyway, I digress.
Well, it's like I'll say, but it's the same thing goes to like with the marketing. Like the one of the latest ones, the cross promos we talked about. Everybody's always looking for what cool different thing can I do? And you're just like, just do this play over and over again.
Yeah, and well, that's the key.
Well,
it always reminds me of the podcast that we listened to from Cameron Harold, who was he made his cut his chops at 1-800-GOT-JUNK. That's where he really. And he would he tells a great story about he had his best franchisee would reach out. And this guy was a good operator. So it wasn't even that he was, underperforming. And he would say like, hey, what's the latest marketing? And he knew this guy wasn't doing the basics. And so he would say, park in a busy parking lot, because they had wrapped vehicles, hand out more flyers. Yeah. But what's the latest? Park in a busy parking lot,
right?
Hand out more flyers. And so that, again, is another point that just illustrates that the basics done really well over and over again, they just work. And it's your mind that you have to tame, as an entrepreneur, not necessarily your clients. But same thing with cross promos. So again, one of them we've been running for up to 4 years. And so Matt's just going to name them and we'll discuss each one and just give you, if you're not in an alloy currently, it'll give you ideas. If you are in alloy, you should be doing these quarterly. You should make it on your marketing calendar. If you're in the process of looking at an alloy, I want you to hear that we have all of these assets already put together, not only the challenges, but all the marketing materials, the playbooks, everything to run these challenges internally to keep your customers engaged.
Yeah, so you don't have to go squirrel brain and go make all this stuff. It's done. We're already there for you.
Yeah. Run the play. All right, what you got?
So we have 4 challenges a year.
So one a quarter.
One a quarter, and we have a bonus one we'll talk about kind of middle of the year. But the thing that, we'll go through each of them, but what you'll notice through these is they have a little bit different variance from each one, so it's not always.
Is that based on seasons, you think?
Little bit of seasons and just a little bit of hitting different crowd people in your own business, right?
Right, because you'll get people that will participate and some that won't, and some of these will appeal more to some clients than others.
Right.
Okay.
So as opposed to like what normally you see is just straight weight loss, right? So you'll see throughout there we have some different variants. So first one we do beginning of the year, we call it Resolution Reboot. Starts in February. Obviously we know that's a big time of the year. People are really motivated for change, New Year's resolutions, things like that, right? And it's a 6-week challenge and literally going for percentage of body fat lost.
Yeah, it's a good time of year. I mean, you think Biggest Loser, right? New Year's resolutions. And interestingly, we started in February because what we found, and if you're in the gym business, you get this, and if you're not, this might be interesting, is you think you get this mad rush of people in January, but somewhere between setting the New Year's resolution, getting your ducks in a row after the madness of the holidays, it's usually somewhere at the end of January going into February when you see an influx of people with their New Year's resolutions. And so us knowing that, even though this is an internal promo, we know that people's lives are somewhat chaotic. They settle down in January, and then we start it in February, which is just a better time to start the challenge because everyone's into their winter schedules and the holidays are over and everything else. So that's why we don't start it like January 1st.
Yeah, well, and also it's, in a personal training business that we're in, we don't get like the same mad rush as like gym owners, just big box gyms in January. A lot of our members that we typically get in those February months or at the end of January because they go and try it themselves and they don't do it. And then they come to us.
Yeah, good point.
So it kind of goes along with that.
They haven't worked out in 10 years. They join a health club. Yeah. They wander around. They're like, I can't do this. I need to hire a trainer. And then, it's on our front door. So much easier.
It's a good time. But we go with that and that leads you into typically spring break for.
But what's in that? So obviously we use the InBody as a body fat measurement. So we're going to use the InBody to start. People sign up. Is there any financial commitment from them, or is it just a free?
Yeah, we typically do a financial commitment. We do like top 3 places usually.
Give out prizes.
Setting it up, we do prizes. A lot of times we work with other local businesses, maybe that we're already doing promotions with to put in free a prize, right? So like. For example, things we've done in the past have been like gift cards to running stores, to free massage, stuff like that, or like supplement bundles. We'd even do from our own storefront. So there's a first, second, and third. Everybody, there's a start date, there's a kickoff party, and we do the InBody, which we've talked about. You've done a podcast with them, which is a fantastic tool. It's going to show them that there's way more to them than just their weight, but we can nail down their body fat actual percentage, which honestly is good for us because it always starts good conversations no matter what. So we can sit down with a customer regardless of the challenge. It gives us another opportunity to do that and help them with their goals. And then we have the challenge that runs for 6 weeks. And we'll send out, we could send out weekly emails, kind of work on this, whether it's nutrition, exercise, etc. And then we'll have at the end of 6 weeks, everybody weighs back in, goes to the InBody, and we'll celebrate our winners.
Yeah, and I like the percentage of body fat. And the reason we did that is because if we did total body fat lost, it would be much easier for someone who maybe had a lot of body fat to lose. And that's really important. We want those people, of course, to lose. But we also want the person that's been there for a while who has nailed their habits to still have a shot at just doing something engaging that can help them tighten up after the holidays. And percentage of body fat makes it fair. Let's say you were even at like 10%. Now you could say, you lost 20%, you got to 8. That doesn't look big on paper, but 20% of your body fat, 10 to 8 is really difficult to do.
It's huge.
Yeah. So, a 20% could be different if you were at 40% body fat, which we've had folks there as well. So anyway, that's why we do it as a percentage. And it's just a way to get people re-engaged for the new year. And if they do have that weight loss goal, great way to do it.
Yeah. But it's super simple. And most of these are simple and they're like that for a reason. I mean, I've seen, when we've licensed and people come up with their own ideas, and even some in the franchise, everybody likes to tinker sometimes. And oftentimes it's just to make things more complicated than it needs to be, right? And it doesn't need to, right? It's just very simple,
right?
kind of thing. So it's, have the play, run the play.
And keep in mind, we have all the marketing materials and everything built out for this. So if you're a franchisee, you have this. It's all on the platform.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So that's the first one. Any more questions about that or anyone to add?
No, it's pretty simple.
So very simple. The second one is what we call spring into summer, which is typically around April. And this one is very different from your normal, weight loss, body fat or whatever. This one's an activity-based one.
Interesting.
Yeah. So the reason we do that.
Just move like whatever, just any activity.
Yeah. And we literally have a full scorecard or scoreboard built. Franchisees will literally print this out, put this up in their facility. It runs for 6 weeks, and it's literally the honor system. He'll put up stickers, but we're looking for activity outside of your normal workouts, and whoever has the most activity throughout this challenge is the winner. Do the
workouts themselves count, or is this just outside the gym activities?
We're going to go outside the gym.
Okay.
Some will elect to throw in there, but it's either way. It's just showing like you're consistently working on your health outside of your four walls, right?
Love it.
You're going out, going for a walk, swimming, biking, playing tennis, playing pickleball. Whatever it is, right? Which is really big, especially in our population. Get them outside, do more. It's going to help, right? But it's keeping people engaged and focused in the gym, as we talk about for retention tools. Spring into summer, as you can imagine, that's the name of the challenge. But people get distracted, right? There's spring breaks. There's going into vacation, summer coming up, and people stop being consistent with their schedule, right? And you could see a drop off. So this is in place to help people keeping active and focusing on their health and fitness.
Yeah, I love it. And look, and we all understand it's kind of one and the same. Obviously, for a body fat reduction challenge, nutrition's a big piece of it. This one, it's not, but you can't argue that if you're moving more, it's also going to have some ancillary benefits. If you did want to, I'm air quoting, tighten up for the summer, there's that as well, right? But I like the different focus, and thankfully we have an app that we can send people homework on. It pulls in wearables, so it tracks steps and everything. So we can really keep a close eye on what type of movement people are doing outside the gym. You give them homework.
But as you can see, the difference in the first one and the other ones really that have weights around with this has nothing to do with that. So anybody can participate. They can be involved. And, to be honest, like people aren't always trying to lose weight or lose body
exactly.
fat, right? It's not all the time.
No, and there's a lot of folks don't have that even as a goal. It is often that they do, but not always. And if they don't, this is a great challenge for someone who could care less about losing any body fat.
Yeah. Most of our clients at the end of the day, they get in here and get in the system. It's just like feeling good and living life to the fullest, right?
Yep. if you think about as a smaller percentage of customers doing these type of challenges, if we're sitting on a healthy club with 130-ish to 150 members, if you have 50 clients in our setting participate in this, that's a third. That's plenty. So don't, if you're an Alloy franchisee or a potential or in the pipeline, you wouldn't look at a 30% penetration of your total membership to participate as a failure. That would actually be really good. So if you run one and you don't have everybody in the gym on board, that's okay too.
Can we talk about, just real quick before we go through the rest, kind of the process to get people engaged in this?
Sure.
So as a franchise, we have marketing calendars. We cover all of these things ahead of time, right? So you will know about them. We're just
and it
to try to help
takes
you
that planning, right? You need to plan the quarter before to make sure you're ready to launch.
So this is set. It's coming because there's going to be at least a month of promoting this and getting people engaged, right? Signed up. Now, if you remember back in the day in the trenches, when you wanted somebody to do something or be a part of one of these challenges, how'd you get people to do it?
As a coach, I just told them to do it.
Bingo!
Is that the answer you're looking for?
That's the answer.
Yeah, I would just say, hey, listen, we've got this, spring into summer challenge. I've been trying to get you to move more outside the gym. I really want you to participate, right?
Right.
So you're saying, wait, hold on, let me rewind to the first challenge because I never answered this. Like, we don't monetize it, or do we charge for the challenges?
There's a charge, but all that covers is basically getting in and any materials or
like t-shirts or whatever.
So
it's not we have all the graphics
making thing.
Right. Okay. So it's a break-even proposition to cover cost. Plus, we all know the psychology of putting some skin in the game. You'll take it a little bit more seriously.
Right.
And it would cover the cost for you as an Alloy franchisee of like whatever promotional t-shirts. And we have all the graphics and stuff for that built. So it would cover the cost of all of that, correct?
Yeah, that's what it's in place for.
Cool.
So, the cost covers that. There's a promotional period, but what you just said, and that's really our whole entire business, is you are acting as a coach.
So you tell them to do it.
Right. You want somebody to do it. And I've did this a million times. You did a million times. I would literally just be like, hey, Rick, part of your goal is losing weight. Got a great challenge. I'm going to sign you up right now.
Right.
And I would literally go do it for them. Right. And they're like, oh, okay. What you don't want to do is be like, hey, we got this challenge coming on. Do you want to do it? They're like, no, that sounds terrible.
I don't want to move more. If I wanted to move more, I'd already be doing it.
Well, whatever it is, right?
It's
like it's uncomfortable for them, right? It's like, oh, there's something I gotta work harder now, or I gotta be, people are gonna see my name,
Right. And all they need to hear is the trusted advisor in this area of their life is like, this is gonna be really good for you.
Yeah,
trust me.
Yeah, it's gonna push you a little bit harder. We've seen lots of success with it. You're gonna do great. Don't worry about it. I'll sign you up. Right? Yep. But it's such a different mentality, and that really goes to everything we do in our business.
I was about to say, that just wraps up sales and everything else we do.
You're from a coach, right? Whether they're struggling, you need to tell them what they're doing. If there's sales, you need to tell them prescriptively, like, hey, this is what's going to give you the best results, this is what we're doing. But even this, so supplements, we can go all day, right? It's just like you coaching them. So that's a big piece. All these challenges, you guys take ownership of up and you get them signed up. If you just throw it up there, you throw it on social media, and you're like, hey, we got this challenge, sign up front, you're not going to get nothing.
Right.
Because they're not going to rush to the door.
Yeah, and you just have to just make it the message of the week. So talk about it during the warm-ups or talk about it with each client on the way out the door. I mean, there's so many easy ways to implement this.
Yeah, so there's awareness, but then there's like, go make it happen.
Yes.
Right. And we've gamified it in the past. I mean, this, remember whoever gets the most people signed up, there's
wins a prize or something.
Yeah. We've done that. So you do that, but it works just literally and tell them to do it kind of thing. So that's spring into summer, activity based. There's a big scorecard we have, or scoreboard, honor system, putting up stickers, and we'll do the same thing with prizes and stuff like that. Right. If you're we can send out newsletters or just weekly updates on like different ideas to be more active will go along with the challenge. Great time of year to also go out, depending on where you live. You can go set up like a group hike or do different things outside of your four walls. So that's the second one. The third one, this is our biggest one of the year. This one probably has been running for 16,
this is the one I was thinking of, which is Fall Back to Fitness.
Yeah, this is Fall Back to Fitness. This starts October and runs all the way right before Thanksgiving. You want to go through it? You made it.
Yeah. Well, it starts October 1st, then you've got about 6 weeks that lead up to Thanksgiving. And so the idea is that it's a great opportunity to get yourself in the best shape ever before you hit the holiday season, which is typically not kind to your weight or your body or what have you. So it's like, okay, let's see if we can get in the best shape possible. Plus, you're really coming off of summer, so most schools start back sometime like mid-August. Some start like after Labor Day. That's a bit late, but like here we start like mid-August. So it's like, okay, you've had a chance to sort of get your feet back under you if you've had a heavy travel summer or something like that. So this is something that you can focus on. And we've been running it forever, and we have people that wait for it year over year to like really try to get in shape. And they'll say, it just gives me margin in my life before the holidays kick in, and I love it, and blah, blah, blah. And same kind of thing. There's a little bit of a fee that covers the cost of T-shirts and the graphics and all the stuff that we have provided for franchisees. But it's almost like it's a very similar challenge to the original one in the start of the year, because it's almost like we have these two seasons of people getting refocused. One is, again, after the new year, and the other one is after the summer. And so you'll see traditionally if we had moms in the gym, that's when the kids get back in school, they get that stabilized, they get their sports schedules figured out, then they start coming in again, and they've got a schedule now. So there's a lot of reasons why the one in the fall will be similar and based on, weight loss or body fat percentage loss or what have you, because it's almost a similar season to the new year.
Yeah. I mean, and it's very similar to the beginning of the one. The first one is percentage of body fat loss. This one is percentage of weight loss. And it's the same thing you talked about earlier. That gives everybody a fighting chance, or, you're not competing with somebody that can lose 50 pounds. Or
yeah, and you're going to lose 10, but like, okay, as a percentage, it still works. So it's percentage of weight loss.
Yeah. Same thing.
Prizes, the whole deal.
Yep. Promote it. Get people signed up. You'll have a kickoff party. One thing to note is, we say internal challenge is typically what it's for. It's not an external marketing activity. We're still going to post about it on social media. We're still going to promote it. You will get friends and family that will want to participate in this. / you will have people that will just come to your kickoff party, and because of just the educational piece of it, and you may turn that into some members.
Right. So at that kickoff party, and we've got the framework built for you guys, that would be a good time to do a talk about nutrition or stress relief or sleep. And you can probably pull from your local connections to have even an expert come in who'd be happy to give you 30 minutes to an hour of their time to do a talk about nutrition or, whatever, like maybe it's a local dietitian, or there's a lot of ways to leverage like your entire like networking community with these events as well. And it won't cost you a dime. Yeah.
We used to have multiple vendors come in, cater it. We've literally put it like Facebook Live before, so like somebody's doing it so other people can see it. I don't know if we have mentioned it, but like also with all these things, helps with retention, but it also helps the camaraderie and community inside of your four walls, right? Because now it's, what is a community? It's a group of people of like interest moving towards something. That's what these challenges do. So they're all getting together and they're pushing to make some change. So it helps create bonds and different things like that as well.
At one point, you guys, this was so big when we had an old model, and it was a very inefficient model, and I wouldn't recommend it, but it did give us a lot more members, and we had so many people participating that we had to create teams, and then we put a coach in charge of each team.
Yeah.
And the teams, just to give you an idea about camaraderie that you mentioned, one of the teams was, sending the other members of other teams like pizzas and stuff to their house just as a joke.
Yeah.
But it became like this full on like hilarious, adventure and they were sort of, going at each other in a very friendly way, but it was awesome, So to your point, it builds a camaraderie, it builds the team, and you will get some ancillary benefits, them bringing friends and things in as well.
Yeah, 100%. So that is number 3. And then the last one, I feel like this is your favorite one, Project Zero.
Yeah, it's not even my idea. So shout out to Carrie, who owns, I think it's 212 Fitness up in Providence. Good dude. Really like him a lot. And he gave me this idea probably 15 years ago. He'd been running it, and I loved it. And basically, it's so think about what's happening. You're coming off of the tail end of Fall Back to Fitness, which is a very popular challenge. You have all these people who've, seemingly or at least made an attempt to lose some weight. Now the holidays hit, and the average weight gain for an American during the holidays is 7 pounds. And normally you don't lose that. So you can imagine year over year how bad that can be. So, okay, if you're going to gain 7 pounds, you've just hit a weight loss challenge, so to speak. So you're in great shape at this point in time. You're on it. So this picks up right where that left off.
Yep.
And between, right after Thanksgiving to after the New Year, which is the holidays, it's called Project Zero because the goal is to gain 0 pounds over the holidays. And again, the average American gains 7. So if you gain 0, you're winning, especially if you're coming off of a time when you've been very good, so to speak. Your behaviors have been in alignment.
Is it only 7?
Yeah.
I feel like it's probably double that.
That's average. So, I mean, there's got to be some that don't gain any, and there's got to be some that just gain a ton. But anyway, average American gains 7. So if you can gain none, that's great. Now, this one works as well. You put money in the pot, put your $50 in, and you get your money back. So all you're doing is weighing in on this designated time window and then weighing in again on your other designated time window. And if you don't gain any weight, you get your $50 back. If you do gain weight, you leave your money in the pot and it gets equally distributed amongst the ones who did not gain any weight. So all it does, you guys, is keep people focused on healthy habits during the holidays. And we've got handouts and flyers and tons of tips on like giving out, okay, so eat a protein-based meal before you go to the holiday party so you don't slam a bunch of apps and drink too many pina coladas or whatever, eggnog, whatever you're having. So there's a lot of strategies around it. But again, it's a fun challenge. It gets people through a difficult time of the year as far as like indulgence. And there's a gamification. You put money in, you're either getting your money back or you're not. And if you leave it in, everybody else gets to split it up, and they're very happy that you didn't do it. So there's a little bit of banter and some fun competition around it as well.
No, it's like spring into summer in terms of it's a very busy time. And if you're having clients that are going to be missing a lot of sessions due to families in town and Thanksgiving and everything around that, this is when it happens. So it keeps people thinking about, the gym and being healthy and not gaining weight and engage versus just floating off into the wind.
Yeah. Well, and again, it's like you're talking about keeping them top of mind, which is a great retention tool. Imagine they're at Thanksgiving and they have a really small piece of pie, or they forego an extra piece, and someone's like, "Oh, you don't like my pie," or whatever. And then what are they going to say? "Oh no, I'm in this challenge at my gym where I can't get any weight over the holidays. I had to put $50 in the pot, and I'm not going to get it back, and so I'm not going to lose." And then, but now they're talking about you and your business, and so does it have some ancillary marketing benefits? It can, of course, right? But yeah, I think it's a really fun challenge, and it comes right off the heels of the Fall Back to Fitness, so it's perfect timing. So shout out to Carrie for the idea, and we've loved it ever since.
Yeah. So you saw 4 challenges, 1 quarter. Each quarter we got one going, a little bit different wrinkle on each. I want to talk about one it's kind of a bonus. It's a summertime challenge. I don't even know where this came from.
You know where it came from.
Well, I know where it came from, but I don't know when it started or who thought of it. Did you think of it?
Yes.
Oh, well, you didn't think of the last one. Don't act so shocked here. So this is a bonus challenge for summer. We will have it promoted, but it's called Where's Waldo?
Yeah, and if you remember the old game where you look at the map and you got to find Waldo, and it's like hard to find him on the map. So the idea was, where's Waldo? And so what we do is if people take pictures throughout the summer wearing alloy gear, and we've got clients that, again, they have means, so they're going to Italy, they're going to these exotic places and taking pictures and, hiking to the top of a mountain or whatever these things are. And if they take a picture with their alloy gear on, right, it gets their name in the hat for a Where's Waldo prize. And so at the end of the challenge, we sort of get together and collectively vote like what was the coolest picture, and that person wins the Where's Waldo challenge, and we give them a prize for that.
Do you remember your favorite one?
There's been so many, like top of Kilimanjaro. I mean, geez, in the jungle of like the Amazon jungle, like with catching a piranha. I mean, just some really, some like super, like skydiving, hang gliding. I mean, we racing cars. Like we had a guy that owned a race car and he had an alloy logo on his race car. It was like,
cool.
I mean, just all these interesting things to Where's Waldo. But again, you're staying top of mind for your customer, in addition to the fact that they're advertising for you out in the community, and all the other clients get to see what all the fun people. I mean, again, looking good, feeling great, living life to the fullest. Living life to the fullest is about wearing that alloy logo on your chest and remembering how it was that you were able to hike to the top of that 14,000 foot peak in Colorado, right? Yeah. It may not have been possible before. So it's just again, it just reasserts that, like, listen, you're on a healthy path. You're a better version of yourself because you work out and because you're with Alloy, right? And we want to champion that as well. And it's also just fun for people. And we post them up on social media and whatnot. So like all the other members get to see it and they all get excited and participate as well. So
there's marketing, strides of conversations, where'd you go, again, community, all that stuff. I mean, it's so simple, but it's so impactful.
Yep.
It keeps people that our clientele who travel a lot, because they typically have a lot of money or more money than most, which is good, but they will go on lavish vacations. But guess what? Now they're thinking about the gym while they're on this trip.
They're packing because they know it's going to be a great photo shot because they know where they're going.
Yeah.
They're thinking about you and they're packing their Alloy t-shirt or hat, right, to bring along so that they can get this amazing picture. So again, you're staying top of mind at a time when people may not be as regular and scheduled at the gym. And so what you don't want them to do is just sort of start to lose touch a little bit over the summer. It makes it harder to sort of reel them in, in the fall. But this is just a great way to keep them engaged. This was my idea, by the way.
It was?
Believe it or not, I did have an idea at one point. And so, so that's a bonus. Where's Waldo in the summer? And again, there's not a lot to do with that. You just announce it. And everybody should have an Alloy t-shirt or hat if they're in your gym anyway. And so, you're giving them out for prizes when they join. A million ways to do that. But again, it gets people in your gear. They're all over social media. And it's really highlighting that live life to the fullest brand promise that we have.
Yeah. That is the 4 quarterlies and the bonus. Where's Waldo? Anything else you want to add to those?
No, I just want, if you're a current Alloy franchisee, you need to be running these, and I hope you understand why. If you're a potential franchisee, know that all these things are already created for you and they're based on client engagement. We've run all of them, at high volume. And if you're in the fitness space and you don't do it, you should do it. So I hope it helps everybody and anybody that may be listening. Shout out to the person who's listening who gave me the idea, because I was like, and they were like, you do these internal challenges, right? I'm like, yeah. They're like, why don't you do a podcast on that? I'm like, that's a great idea. So here we are.
There you go. Now you got a podcast.
I know.
Taking any requests.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, though, if you guys have a subject you'd like to hear about, hit us up. We'll be happy to talk about whatever you'd like. And it's not like we're running out of ideas because we have a million things to talk about. But if you do have suggestions, let us know. Otherwise, I hope this helps you guys. Matt, good to have you back in studio.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Peace.